of our dear lost brothers and soldiers of the Detroit Police Department, Glenn Doss Jr. And we're just basically on this day celebrating a young brother who was killed this past week. They had his homegoing celebration on today. And I want to encourage people to, those of you all that are interested in supporting law enforcement, to go to www.npdf.org. Again, that website is www.npdf.org. You can support it. You can give us a call directly at 1-313-978-7243. Again, that number is 1-313-978-7243. If you would like to be a support of the law enforcement agency community, feel free to call us, or you can go to the website directly to www.npdf.org to support law enforcement and the different initiatives that we have as an organization. I want to encourage people, to do a lot more praying and meditating and praising and worshiping. And when we do that, and also do a lot of forgiving, this helps decrease some of the ways that people feel with mental illness. Mental illness is going crazy right about now. The guy that shot Officer Glenn Doss Jr. was documented as a mentally ill person, and the first thing that popped up was that they should open up more mental health facilities. But the opposite of that is, I don't think that they should do that. I think that if you take a life, you should do life. That's just my personal view about it all. Being a law enforcement agent myself, one of the things I would do, if you was to take a life, if you was not a law enforcement agent and you was shedding innocent blood in this place and the officer happened to die, what I would encourage would be to basically get life, if you live through the situation. And so what I wanted to pretty much look into is for you to basically connect, with your inner self first and foremost. You need to connect to one's inner self to define the true purposes on why we're even existing, to even think to take someone's life, you first have to not love your own self. You know what I'm saying? To the point where you're jealous of somebody else. And that's frustrated about what it is you're going through. First and foremost, I want to reroute this thing, and let's go to the root of the issue of the particular shooting. One of the things that we'll see, that we had a person that was full of rage and full of evil thoughts in their particular minds, from the domestic situation. And it got very carried away. And I believe the assassin himself was at a certain point of frustration with particular the situation and the officer that showed up. But regarding that, I don't believe that he should have made an attempt to go that far. He could have discussed this situation with the officer in detail regarding to what was taking place. And this is what we don't have more of. We have less and less of people that are open to helping other people. Our first thing is not mental health facilities, for they are not safe. I personally have a testimony where, I'm actually a law enforcement agent. So just putting that out there openly, you got to be cautious and use great plainness of speech. I'm just saying the truth of the fact of the matter of it is that you can't just say everybody, that does something needs to go this way. You got to be specific. Those people that are dealing with issues need more counselors, church leaders to open up their doors. The house of prayer should be open more. See, some people don't have no identification on what it is that they're doing. And the first thing we do is say, well, let's put them on some pills. Well, that might be the cause in the first place why that person was like that. We remember many years ago where there was a big epidemic where the mental health facilities, the reason why there weren't a lot of them, because they were leaving people out to do particular crimes and things of that nature without following up and things of that nature. They don't call after they give you the particular medicine. They're not following through to make sure that you're following through with your particular people. And so in that, I would say we need more of the house of prayer being open. This would precisely solve some of the issues and open it up for particular counselors and law enforcement officers as well, and other people that can make things a lot more easier, even if the priests and the preachers don't have solid background information. And truthfully, a lot of those individuals are not equipped and have not been certified, I believe, trained by God or anyone else at that, And so we have to also look at that in detail, that most people are not qualified to give anyone any advice because they talk like anyone else in the community. And there's supposed to be a difference, giggling and gaggling and just thinking of our own opinions and discussing certain situations with people. We cannot try to utilize our own thoughts into the waves of people who are seeking direction from those that are supposed to have wise counsel. And many people have calls for the truth of the fact of the matter of it are most leaders have been a particular reason why most people have went buku, just being realistic with you. And so seeing that be true, what is one of the ways we could be more active in one's life? And one of the things that I would say, number one, is let's invite and provoke more love. And more love will provoke more prayer. And that's what is needed, more understanding, more people getting together with those lost relatives. And we ought to encourage them, even if they may or may not be religiously backed by anyone. We must step in and fill the gaps and have a listening ear and eyes and heart for the particular situation that could get out of hand. And what I've seen happen on a local, regionally, and national level is there is lack of that. I've known that being a resident here in the city of Detroit, Michigan, that there have been less and less resources for people. I mean, a lot of people have done a lot of marching after the fact that people get killed and all that nice stuff like that. But the truth of the fact of the matter is, what do you bring in to help people cope with what they're going through? Do you have an understanding of the rage on the inside of them? You know what I'm saying? Most people do not want to be going to give people information that are more crazy than them. We've seen even some of that happening with the doctors doing stuff. And some of these people are people that we share our deepest thoughts and secrets with. And you can barely trust these individuals. And so by me saying that, I feel that we could do better as a people of community and as neighbors. We could love, if we could show love again, it would probably help some of the situations. Most of the killings that are happening now and the issues in family happen because there's money issues or the lack of opportunities, or most importantly, the lack of understanding, the lack of love of oneself because of these things. And so we must not make these things the number one priorities, because when people get put in a corner, then they come out with any kind of thing. And this is what we get. We get mass murders and things of that nature because people are not willing to sit down and understand a person, because they are afraid to dialogue on a certain level with the potential offender that has caused something to another person that made them a victim. And I just pretty much want to open up the floor for you all to understand that we need more people to come alongside of people and really understand the basics of what one is going through in their mind and why they're even doing what it is that they do. Certain people have motives behind what it is, how they feel and how they act. And it could be because of a series of things that have not come to the forefront, and we must not overlook those issues and go on about everyday living and still telling people, well, I think you need to do this, that, and the other, and just get a little appeal here and there, and that'll help you. But what we need to do is be more efficient and proficient in the things concerning the human being and what one lacks of, and try to be there more than what we have before. Because in cases like we've seen before, things become out of whack and no one knows how to really be effective. And the first thing we do is say, why don't we open up this more and that more? But why don't you open your heart more and open up the house of prayer more and the sharing more and taking people in more, so that encouraging families that have forsaken people, that have misunderstanding, miscommunications, to be more supportive for their lost loved ones or relatives, and encourage other family members to be more efficient and sufficient with the needs that one is going through. I would encourage you on today's broadcast to share love with one another, and most importantly, keep the peace with yourself. Love thyself, love thy neighbor, love God most importantly, because when you do love God, all of these other things become effective in your life. So I encourage you to reach out to someone today and say a prayer for your neighbor. Love your neighbor as yourself. Instead of being covenanted and trying to take everything that belongs to your neighbor, instead of your neighbor trying to get something that doesn't belong to them, how about we get into what God has prescribed for us, and let's show this meditational moment for one another, and let's show an understanding. We need more peers. Some older folks, you get in a point where you be by yourself, so no one reaches out to you. No one really understands that what you go through, and then all of a sudden you go through a thing and they don't understand why and what your motive was. But I want to encourage you, you have someone that's available to speak to you in detail, to understand the frustration that one goes through on a daily basis and monthly and yearly basis, and some things that have gone untouched for many years that have caused people to go out in a mass outrage. And so I want to open up my phone lines for you to get prayer, or even for you to get consultation of any sort at 1-313-978-7243. Again, that number is 1-313-978-7243. You can also call me after this particular broadcast, some of you all may catch this on the rebound. And by the rebound, what I mean is you might catch this after the live broadcast is going off. And those of you all that want to call after or any other time, you may do so. Just let me know that you want to take part in helping yourself or someone else. This has been the Honorable King Calvin Jones Jr., aka King Calvin.